That humble potato on your dinner plate, the one you likely take for granted, was once feared as a deadly poison, an agent of leprosy and fever, and for centuries, entire continents refused to touch it. This unassuming tuber, now a global dietary bedrock, embarked on one of the most remarkable and tumultuous journeys in agricultural history, a saga that saw it transform from a South American curiosity to a royal delicacy, from a starvation crop to the fuel of empires, leaving a trail of both prosperity and unimaginable suffering in its wake. Long before European ships ever touched the shores of the Americas, high in the breathtaking, unforgiving altitudes of the Andes, a story of profound survival and ingenuity was unfolding. Here, over 10,000 years ago, communities along the Titicaca Basin were not just cultivating wild plants, they were engaging in an act of agricultural alchemy, transforming a bitter, sometimes toxic, wild nightshade relative into something life-sustaining. These were the ancestors of the Incas, and their creation was the potato, or papa as they called it. For these Andean civilizations, the potato was more than just food. It was the foundation of their very existence. Imagine a land where corn struggled, where frosts could wipe out entire harvests in a single night. The potato thrived. Its resilience, its ability to grow in poor soil, and its remarkable nutritional density made it the ultimate survival crop. They developed thousands of varieties, each suited to specific microclimates, recognizing subtleties in flavor and function that we've largely forgotten. They even invented freeze-drying, creating chuño, a lightweight, storable, portable food source that powered armies and sustained populations through lean years. It was a miracle of engineering and botany, centuries ahead of its time. But when the Spanish conquistadors arrived in the 16th century, seeking gold and glory, they largely overlooked this earthy treasure. They saw potatoes feeding the savages they were subjugating, a primitive food for a conquered people. They were more interested in shimmering metals than muddy tubers. Yet some were curious enough. Soldiers and sailors, facing long voyages and uncertain food supplies, found the potato to be an indispensable, easily stored provision. And so, sometime around 1570, the first potatoes made the perilous journey across the Atlantic, arriving not as a celebrated food, but as little more than botanical specimens, curiosities destined for European botanical gardens. The reception in Europe was, to put it mildly, hostile. People were deeply suspicious of anything that grew underground, believing it to be unholy, or worse, associated with witchcraft and dark magic. The fact that it wasn't mentioned in the Bible immediately raised red flags for a deeply religious populace. Its membership in the nightshade family, which included notorious poisons like belladonna, fueled fears that it was inherently toxic. Some even believed it caused leprosy, syphilis, and rickets simply because of its unusual appearance. Imagine trying to introduce a root vegetable that looked like a gnarled, misshapen growth from the earth, telling people it was safe to eat. For generations, the potato languished in obscurity across much of Europe, primarily grown as animal feed or an ornamental plant in aristocratic gardens. It was viewed with contempt, the food of the lowest classes, if eaten at all. How could something so fundamentally misunderstood, so vehemently rejected, ever break through such deeply ingrained prejudice and become a global staple? The answer lay not in a single discovery, but in a series of strategic maneuvers, desperate circumstances, and the vision of a few determined individuals. One of the most pivotal figures in the potato's European redemption story was Antoine-Augustin Parmentier, an 18th-century French pharmacist. His turning point came during the 7 Years' War when he was captured by Prussians. As a prisoner of war, his diet consisted almost entirely of potatoes, a crop his captors considered only for pigs. To his astonishment, he not only survived but thrived, realizing the potato's incredible nutritional value and potential as a solution to France's perpetual food shortages. Upon his return, Parmentier launched a lifelong campaign to popularize the potato. He wasn't just a scientist, he was a master of public relations. He hosted lavish potato banquets for luminaries like Benjamin Franklin and King Louis XVI, serving up a dazzling array of dishes made from the humble tuber. But his most brilliant move involved a psychological trick. He convinced King Louis XVI to wear a potato flower in his buttonhole and to plant potato fields on royal land, posting guards around them during the day. The guards, however, were instructed to look the other way at night. The message was clear. If the king valued these plants enough to guard them, they must be precious. The peasants, seeing this forbidden fruit, began to pilfer the potatoes, tasting them, and quickly realizing their worth. It was a genius stroke of reverse psychology that slowly began to turn the tide of public opinion. Around the same time, another powerful figure, Frederick the Great of Prussia, was taking a far more authoritarian approach. Faced with constant wars and famine, he issued royal decrees in 1756 ordering his subjects to cultivate potatoes. Those who refused faced severe penalties, even having their noses cut off. His famous Potato Edict stated that the cultivation of this fruit must be especially promoted, and a special instruction is to be given to them of how to handle them. While less charming than Parmentier's methods, it was equally effective in establishing the potato as a vital food source in regions facing dire need. These strategic endorsements, born of both scientific conviction and necessity, transformed the potato's image from a suspicious oddity to a royal endorsement. It was no longer just a food for prisoners or animals, but something even kings deigned to acknowledge. If you're finding this deep dive into the extraordinary history of an everyday food as captivating as I do, consider leaving a like on this video. It helps us bring more of these hidden sagas to light. But no country embraced the potato quite like Ireland. By the late 18th and early 19th century, a perfect storm of political oppression, land scarcity, and a rapidly growing population made the potato an irresistible solution. A single acre of potatoes could feed a family far more reliably and efficiently than grain, allowing for a population boom unlike almost anywhere else in Europe. The Irish diet became almost entirely dependent on this one crop. It was cheap, nutritious, and prolific, providing the calories that fueled millions of people. But it also created an incredible vulnerability. This over-reliance set the stage for one of the greatest human tragedies of the 19th century, the Great Famine. In 1845, a devastating blight, Phytophthora infestans, a microscopic fungus-like organism, swept through Ireland's potato fields. Overnight, healthy plants turned to black mush, their tubers rotting in the ground. The initial crop failure was followed by a second, and then a third. The famine wasn't just a scarcity of food, it was an existential catastrophe. An estimated 1 million people died of starvation and disease, and another million emigrated, many to America, forever altering the demographic and cultural landscape of both nations. The Great Famine serves as a stark, horrifying reminder of the profound power and danger inherent in a single food source, especially when an entire population's survival is tied to its success. It shattered families, fueled resentment against British rule, and left an indelible scar on the Irish national psyche. It transformed the potato from a symbol of sustenance into a symbol of suffering and forced migration. Yet, even as Ireland endured its darkest hour, the potato continued its march across the globe. By the 19th century, it was firmly established as a crucial food for the burgeoning working classes of Europe, fueling the Industrial Revolution by providing cheap, abundant calories for factory workers and urban populations. It was carried by explorers, missionaries, and colonists to every corner of the British Empire and beyond, adapting to new climates and becoming integrated into diverse culinary traditions. From the French fry to the Russian vodka, the German potato salad to the Indian aloo gobi, the potato had not just found a place, but had begun to define global cuisines. Today, the potato is the world's fourth largest food crop, behind rice, wheat, and corn, with over 370 million tons produced annually. Its journey from a wild, potentially toxic plant in the Andes to a revered, royal food, then to a controversial staple, and finally to a global dietary pillar, is a testament to its incredible resilience and the persistent, often desperate ingenuity of humanity. It shaped demography, fueled industry, influenced politics, and even triggered mass migrations. What other seemingly ordinary food do you think holds such a dramatic and impactful story? Share your thoughts and theories in the comments below. We love hearing what you're curious about. The potato's tale is not just about a plant. It's a profound narrative about human history, our relationship with nature, the consequences of reliance, and our unending quest for survival and sustenance. Next time you peel a potato, remember its turbulent past, a journey from deadly poison to the very bedrock of our dinner plates, a silent witness to centuries of human triumph and tragedy. If stories like the potatoes, of humble ingredients shaping civilizations, intrigue you, make sure to subscribe to Breaking Bread for more deep dives into the hidden histories behind the foods we eat every day.